Hi, welcome back. In this video, let's have a look at how to use the texture tool to convert PNG to DDS for the Giants engine. We'll start over here in an example mod, which has some placeables, some palettes over here. We have some HUD icons for the fill types, but most importantly, we still have some source PNG images, which we like to convert to DDS, so they are optimized for the Giants engine. There's a little bit more than this. Let's have a look at all the image files. So we have a store image for every palette, we have a store image for every production, and we have the main mod icon that we all want to convert to DDS files. The easiest way I have found to convert the images is going to the GDN website, going to downloads, and actually looking for the texture tool. It's called the texture tool for Farming Simulator 22, but it works just as well for 25, as far as I have experienced. So we'll just extract this file somewhere. I'll create a new folder somewhere I'll remember. And over here I'll extract the files. Okay, now we have our texture tool, and we still have our placeable over here somewhere, or our placeable mod. Okay, over here in the texture tool we have a readme file, very important. This stuff really explains how textures work in the Giants engine. Very interesting to read through it. Next up, we have the texture tool recursive. This is the main one we are going to use most of the time. Simple, basic version of how this works. If I go to one of the icons, for example here, the pizzeria, I can drag this on top of this. Windows is protecting me because this command isn't signed by anything. I know where this comes from. This comes from Giants. I've looked up the script before. I trust this, so I'll run this. And the tool has created the DDS file for me, and it gave me the notification that it completed without warnings. And now over here I have the DDS file. I can try to open it, but it's probably not going to work in GIMP, because it's using BC7 and GIMP doesn't support that. I should be able to open it up in paint.net, of course. And then I should see the store image. That's great for this image, but now let's go back to the root of our mod. We have this image over here. That's actually the store icon for our mod itself. That should use different formats. In this case, it should use BC1. So we want to define a custom configuration for this file. How can we do this? By creating a new file with the same name and ending it with .gem. This is an XML file, as we know. When we go to our texture tool, we can open up the template, and we can copy just about everything that is in here. But for now, we only need the format, so we'll use all the other stuff. If we save this, we should now see our raw source file, and we have our configuration file configured to convert to BC1. So if we drag and drop this one on our texture tool recursive, it should generate us a new DDS image that we can actually open over here. Now we can see it, but we can also see that we have some mipmaps. For UI images or UI textures, you usually don't want any mipmaps. So let's adjust that. There's another sample included for the UI texture, which includes the number of mipmap setting. This is the one we're going to copy over. We can save this over here. We can run our conversion again by dragging the PNG image on top of here, and it should generate our new DDS image. Let's close this before we reopen it. So GIMP actually tries to reopen it. It should import it again. It can load the MIP maps, but there aren't any included anymore because we reconfigured this file to be generated with a new setting. So now we can convert images from raw PNG images to DDS. We can configure a lot of settings. Now we just use this format, but there are a lot of options and all the useful options, because these are the settings you need for Farming Simulator or the Giants engine. There's a very good explanation about how all those settings work. So now our next job, we have our placeable. Now we need to create those gem files for every icon we have in our folders. We already did it for the pizzeria, we did it for our mod icon, but now actually the pizzeria was still wrong. We didn't have configuration. This file will include MIP maps and we want to remove the MIP maps. So we want the same sample GUI texture file over here with the same name, but actually we want to do that for all our image files. So for this complete list. Now, with the texture tool, there's a tool included over here in utils called create the file for all PNG files. We can have a look at how to use it. We can adjust the template file over here. We can then just run this command and we will have to enter a directory. And so this is a mod folder or something, and every PNG file in only this directory, there will be a .gem file created next to it with the same name. So that's useful. That means that over here, we can copy this. We can just run, let's have a look at the template first. It's just going to say number of mipmap 0, maybe also add the format. We know exactly what we want this to be. We want it to be BC7. Now we have that. We can run our command. We have the same warning as before because this is different. Command will print the path to the pizzeria folder, and it should have created a new configuration file for this image with our predefined settings. That's cool, but now we still have to go through all of the folders. If we have a look at this script, we can actually kind of adjust it. Over here we are looping through all the images in the folder. Let's add this -r setting. It means recursively, and it will also look in the child folders for any PNG images that might be there. Now, if we are looking for a file, this kind of weird syntax actually means the name. We can use the same thing, but change n by p, and that's the path. Which will include child path that we are traversing over here. So if we also include the path over here and we include it over here, where we are actually copying the .gem file to, we can save the script, close it again. Now we can come over here to our mod and actually go to the top folder, maybe one higher. We need the full path to this source folder. We can run our create gem scripts, enter our folder, and it should have created the gem file. We'll check over here. We can see the configuration file was created for all of the icons we have in our mod. We'll check at least one configuration to see if they are correct. Let's go for the pellets. Over here there now should be this configuration file, and it has the number of MIP maps and BC7 configured correctly. That looks great. So if we can go to our source folder, we open our texture tool. Again, I kind of lost the window. Yeah, over here we are again. So this is our texture tool. Now we can drag our complete mod on this recursive folder. And it will create all these store icons with the pre-configured template file that we just added to all the individual files. We have a warning about the mod icon, but because there's still a mistake in the source file with the alpha, but that's fine for now. And when we look over here again, now for every PNG file that we already had, we have created the converted DDS file with the correct settings, and we also have a configuration file over here with the settings for that image. Now, these DDSs are generated by the Giants engine or by the texture tool itself, so they will work with Farming Simulator. That's what it's made for. That's what it's made to do. So yeah, I guess that's it. Have fun.